Facebook has always been talk of the town, and now the moment is coming back again when all the major brands are deciding to boycott Facebook ads as for July 2020. And the reason for that is Stop Hate for Profit campaign. Previously, Facebook dealt with the privacy issue, which was a big issue, but most people didn't really care because a normal person wouldn't care if Facebook is selling his data to some company as long as it's getting enough likes and shares. But now the matter have grew further against the world's largest social network. It can be damaging for Facebook as this company makes almost all of its money from ads. Last year it made more than $70 billion, so they should be careful. As this news is spreading, PlayStation also decided to jump into the game by boycotting Facebook ads. In a statement to game industry, PlayStation said in support of #Stop for Profit campaign, we have globally suspended our Facebook and Instagram activity, including advertising and non-paid content, until the end of July. We stand for working together for good. Enough about Facebook. Apple and China's conflict have some history, and you know what they say, history repeats itself, and that is exactly what is happening right now, although it has nothing to do with Apple's and China's conflict. Anyhow, Apple is stopping thousands of games updates in China's App Store, and the reason for this seems to be that they lack license from Chinese government, according to Financial Times. On the other hand, Android have acted upon this rule for the most part since 2016. Apple, however, didn't care that much about this rule and allowed their developers to publish their games while they were waiting for authorization, which can take some time. So roughly there are 60,000 affected games right now in China's App Store. And Apple's biggest App Store market is China. Most of their App Store revenue come from games. But now Apple is fixing this issue, as in February Apple reminded its developer to obtain license before publishing games in China. Apple didn't fix this on time, but it works as long as games get updated right. Speaking of China, OnePlus have confirmed its upcoming cheaper phone will be called OnePlus Nord. Their goal in launching this phone is that they want premium OnePlus experience accessible to everyone. OnePlus didn't give us too many details on what the phone will look like, but they did say that it will launch in Europe and India. Earlier leaks indicated that OnePlus Nord will feature Snapdragon 750G processor and 6.5-inch 90Hz OLED display, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Enough about the specs of the phone, let's talk about how to keep them safe from attackers. As recently Twitter had a data security problem, and email addresses, phone numbers and last 4 digits of credit card which are used to buy ads on Twitter were left in browser cache after the transaction, and the cache was not secured. It may seem something not that big of a deal, but consequences could be far more significant than you might think, because some people while sitting at home are getting bored, I guess, and they are turning toward things which would be considered bad, and one of them is tricking people for money and information. Anyone could call you and tell you information about you which was leaked, and ask questions which may seem simple at the moment, but if you keep answering them, it will end up in the emptiness of your bank account, which is not something that any of us would want. So be on alert with these kind of attacks. So this is it for this week's tech news, and see you guys in the next one.